Well, joining us in the studio is the Executive Director, Center for Social and Economic Rights, Nelson Ekujumi. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Now, apart from all that was said by this report, opposition parties raising concerns or raising eyebrows that, first of all, they are surprised that the U.S. is given these kind of reports. Recall that even at that period, a lot of them were sending messages to the U.S. to come see what is going on, come and intervene, some sort. And despite all of that, the U.S. is saying this election reflected the will of the people, despite some irregularities, and also said some other things that we'll be discussing in the course of the program. Now, you were part of those who observed the election. From your standpoint, when you look at the report, do you share the same view with the report, and also what do you make of what the opposition parties are saying?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the report stated the obvious, and the obvious is that, one, that election passed the democratic test of Nigerians, that is, the will of the people reflected. That report, in that election, the 2023 general election, also passed the judicial tests because it was subjected to our judicial scrutiny, and we are all witnesses to it, what came out. We saw that those that went to court just went there, for fun. They went there without any evidence. The Electoral Act, that is the Bible of our elections, identified or highlighted basic points, landmarks in the conduct of the election. You have a polling unit, you have the Ward Collation Center, you have the Local Government Collation Center, you have the collation centers, where results from the polling units, generate and move upwards. But lo and behold, even while the results were being collated, it's a fact that political parties who lost came out openly calling for cancellation for reasons that is best known to them. And even when they went to court, we all saw it, where the judges themselves lampooned them, that you claimed to have deployed 133,000 party agents to the polling units. Not one result sheet did you produce to counter the result released by INEC to show that INEC manipulated the result. We all saw the campaign of blackmail and calumny against INEC, but at the end of the day, it all turned out to nothing. So the report by the U.S. Government, by the U.S. agents, is well in tandem with the realities of what transpired in the last 2023 election. Because for some of us, my organization also issued a statement because we deployed over 150 observers. And we were also members of several other networks.
Yes.
And we issued a report commending Nigerians, commending INEC for a job well done. And like we all know, there's no perfect election anywhere in the world.
Well, the results sort of contradict itself when it says that the 2023 election reflects the will of the people. And in another breath, it said that it actually had irregularities, it witnessed irregularities, violence, voter suppression, and all of that. I'll be asking, what modalities do they use in arriving at this conclusion, and what are what exactly did they do, to make sure that yes, they were able to arrive at this report?
No, the report didn't contradict itself when it says there were voters inducement, suppression, violence. In election matters, the law even recognizes that it must be conducted in substantial compliance. It didn't say total, because if you say total, it means it must be 100%. It recognized the human failure that getting to a polling station on election day, some of the electoral officers might come late. Even the voters themselves might come there looking for whom to induce them. There could be violence at the polling station. So the report, spoke generally about it. But for me, my only grouse with the report will have been, maybe because I've not read it in totality, for them to identify where malpractices occurred, rather than a blanket statement. Because we monitored the election, we observed the elections, we deployed observers, we interfaced with other observers, we monitored through the media, because, you can't be everywhere. And I will tell you for free, that is our best election so far. We have seen a remarkable improvement in our elections from 2015. This election was unlike the elections we conducted under former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Morisiwu, where results were written inside an office, where election petitions went to tribunals, and tribunals, as well as the courts, discovered that palm kernel was used to thumbprint, ballot papers. Nobody could, point that out in this election because nobody came out with such, allegations and even substantiated it. So these elections, from all indices, is our best so far, but we are looking ahead to 2027 to do better.
Yeah, the report also corroborated what you have said, saying that the spread of the result of the poll across party lines was better than previous elections that we have conducted in Nigeria. But the opposition parties seem to differ on that. You said that you wish that the report was able to break down some areas where these irregularities happen. And these opposition parties are laying claim to videos that were even on social media of how some persons were denied, access to voting areas, some persons being induced, and all of it. Can't we see that as some of the irregularities also?
No, absolutely. We can see that as irregularity. And, like we stated earlier on, no election is perfect because elections is being conducted by humans.
But they are saying that should count for something.
Well, I told you earlier on, substantial, even if there are irregularities, the law looks at it that these irregularities, is it enough to void what happened if an election has taken place and you have irregularity in 0.5%? Will you now throw away 99.95%? Go and ask anywhere in the world. There's no way it's done. So the opposition parties, it's sad that we have politicians who subscribe to the democratic process only when it suits them. Because once you submit to our democratic process, it means you submit to the adjudication process as well. Because when the election takes place, there are always mechanisms for you to seek redress. So when you have lost, and instead of you to wait to seek redress, you are calling for an outright cancellation of a process that you signed into till the end. You want it to be, abrogated halfway. It does not show sincerity. It does not show patriotism. Ordinarily, if I've submitted to a process, at the end of the day, if I'm not satisfied, the law permits you to go to the tribunal. But in this case, they didn't even want to go to the tribunal. We saw the drama at the National Coalition Center, where one of the party agents was trying to disrupt the process until, he walked out. Yes, Dino Melaye. So it is not out of place for the opposition parties to continue to cry over spilled milk. We have gone past it. Nigerians...
They haven't, obviously.
No, it's their right. You can't begrudge them. If they like, let them continue to, whip over it in 2027. It's within their rights. We have no business with that. But as Nigerians who were part of the process, and we've seen that those who lost explored all the avenues available within the system, except if they are telling us that when elections are held and I'm not satisfied, I should bring down the house. And no society operates that way.